Well, why the difference? Why college more so than the NFL? Why was that more of an aspiration?
And then what pushed you towards the league?
Well, I was very fortunate. I had that fast rise. I was a head coach at 30. And when 36 years old coaches get fired, nobody wants to hire them because they're too much of a risk. Not a risk, but a risk to them for their jobs.
Yeah.
Everybody thought I was coming in to take their job. So I was so lucky that Carl Peterson, I got to know Carl Peterson with the Philadelphia Stars. The Chiefs had a running back job open. Joe Pendry, who I knew from West Virginia, was offensive coordinator, and I was fortunate enough to get one of the last jobs in the NFL that year as the running back coach of the Chiefs. And once I got in the NFL, I never wanted to go back. I did go back, but I didn't really want to.
Like the candor is always the honesty. So it's over to Bruce Arians. So before we, dabble into the game a little bit, I wanted to follow up. Actually, I thought this is where Tiki was going to go when he framed it back to the Virginia Tech days. But, Coach, you've been at the forefront of minority hirings, female hirings. Like, you've been as aware of changing things as anybody that I know. Where does that motivation come from internally? Like, were you when you were 12, did you think about equality? Like, it's triggered deeply in your body, obviously, based on what you do. When did that awareness or that awakening first kind of grip you? Because it seems like it's ever present.
Well, I think it started in the riots of 68 and 69 when my best friend and I couldn't walk down the street together. And then going to Virginia Tech, I didn't know anything about segregation. For Tiki's dad to be my roommate, the first black player to live in a dorm in the football team, I'm like, really? And it's like it was an awakening for me. But then I think the hiring process. I mean, our coaches are the best coaches I know. They're my guys. They just happen to be African American, but they're my guys. Now the women. That was a door that needed to get knocked down. And with so many quality women and qualified people that don't get an opportunity. And I think when I didn't get a job, I didn't even get an interview after Super Bowl 43 in Tampa as the offensive coordinator of the winning team. I didn't even get a phone call. Chuck Pagano had to get leukemia for me to ever get an interview. All right, so opportunity never came. I love giving opportunities.
Mm-hmm. By the way, just to follow, I'm curious, when you referenced the time with Tiki's pops, and I'm sure a lot of people are hearing that for the first time, even though we've told that story a few times on the air because we've had you so many times. So when Tiki's dad is in the dorm and he's the first African-American to be in the dorms on the football team, were most of the white guys on the team receptive to that?
Yes and no. There were some guys that were like, they had no clue what that was like because they had never gone to school with or played with an African American, so it was nothing to me. My best friends were. I was a minority on my 8-year-old team, so there were guys that would come back down to my room and JB would be gone. And hey man, what's it like? What are you talking about? Well, what's it like being a roommate? I said, hell of a lot better than being your roommate.
Hey, we're having fun. We got the girls. We got good music. It's awesome. We're having a good time down here.
JB had great clothes. He had a great stereo system, man. I was in heaven, bro.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying, Bruce.
I had nothing. I got my $15 a month. Your money. That's all the money I had.
That's awesome.
Hey, the apple didn't fall from the tree. Far from the tree. That's right. Hey, Bruce, let's get in this game a little bit. I mean, we heard you at the combine what's the combine? Yeah, it was the combine last year. Talking about if you have a quarterback, I get Tom Brady. Tom Brady happens to be here, and there were some fits and starts. We all know what that's all about, but it all came together. And we've heard your comments on him, how you've allowed him to coach and use his examples and his experience. It kind of worked out perfectly because I always tell BT this, especially in football. Maybe in basketball you can get away with this. In football, no team is ever a player away. It felt like you guys were a player away, and that player was Tom Brady.
Yeah, it really was, and that was a belief. We're a talented football team a year ago, but we didn't know how to close games out. We kept giving games away. We had a couple games early this year we gave away, and I think the Chicago game was a big turnaround for us. We were heavily penalized in September. And then after that game, our players finally realized, hey, we got to quit beating ourselves. And we became one of the least penalized teams in the league. And it was all because they finally talked about it themselves. I've been talking about beating them in the head with it, but now they finally, hey, we got to stop this, and they stopped it. And I think Tom had a big part of that. But yeah, when you bring guys in that have been there and done it, and we're a pretty young football team, they will follow them. And Tom's a workaholic. They don't want to let him down, and he doesn't want to let them down. I think Tom right now is having more fun watching the faces of his teammates going up in the playoffs and winning as much as he's having it for himself.
Bruce, but is he better than you thought? I mean, of course you've known he's great because you've been in the league forever, but up close and personal every day, is he even better and more impressive than you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, everybody talked about his arm. You know, we studied that tape pretty good, and we didn't see any downfall in his arm. They just quit throwing it outside. Now, whether they didn't believe his arm was good, I don't know. But, you know, when we got him, he can make every throw, and it's just getting all that verbiage and the way he learns, the way we teach. We had to from day one. We were starting training camp first time we were ever in a meeting. And so we missed 600 snaps of off-season and preseason games. So it wasn't until the middle of late October, November, before we really ever got on the same page.
Yeah. No, I mean, you could see it. And when it happened, it was profound. These last 6 games, really, and 9 games, or 8 games, you should say, getting up to the Super Bowl have been outstanding for this team offensively. Even with the mistakes, your defense picked yourself up. All right, this is a rematch of a sense because you guys played Kansas City earlier in the season. We remember how that game went. It was ugly, then it came back and was a tight game. What do you take from that game that prepares you for this Super Bowl? Because we know that Andy Reid's a hell of a coach. He's got a hell of a staff over there, as we all know. As much as this will be about the players on the field, a lot of it's going to be how you and Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles and Keith Armstrong, your special teams coordinator, all African-American, as BT talked about, how you game plan this. What do you take away from that earlier matchup?
Yeah, you know, the Saints game and the Packers game, we kind of threw those out. We didn't even look at them because they were so far back and both teams had changed so much. Mm-hmm. This game, there's a lot to learn from, good and bad. Obviously, we don't want to spot them 17 points. And but the way we played from the second quarter on, there was a lot of really, really good things in that game. So we can take from it. They haven't changed that much since then. I think we have changed some. But yeah, that's a good tape to watch. We know. I mean, they probably have. Everybody gloats about how many weapons we have. They got as many or more than we got. And so I mean, I used to laugh back in October. You have too much talent. I don't think you're telling Andy Reid he got too much talent.
Yeah.
Here we are both playing, and so no, that game means a lot to this one. I think just from a very good learning experience.
You know, we know you have to run, and we have about 30 seconds, maybe a minute max. We don't want you to be late for sure. It's Bruce Arians, head coach, Bucs, getting ready for the Super Bowl, of course. And we had you on a bunch. We had you on, and you were adamant, Coach. Antonio Brown, not happening, not coming here. What changed?
Mike Evans got hurt. Chris Godwin got hurt. Scotty Miller was limping. It was like, okay, it's now week 8, and let's revisit it. I talked to him. I basically talked to a different person than I thought I knew, and said, "Hey, we're going to give you a shot." And Mike got healthy, Chris got healthy, Scotty's healthy, so now we're loaded up, and hopefully he gets healthy for this ball game. But he's been a model citizen the whole time.
Yeah, he's been great in the locker room, Coach. Everything. Been
fantastic, especially with the young guys.
Yeah, no, that's the most important thing. Well, I'm biased, Coach. You know I am. I think Rondé's going to be down there because he's like the mayor of Tampa, and if not, he's part owner of the team or something like that. So he's going to be down there. But I'm going to be rooting for you. Obviously, you're fam to me, and I love your journey, Coach. And I'm excited to see you in the Super Bowl. And good luck to you. Appreciate you taking some time to hop on with us today.
You bet, nephew.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Coach. You got it, man. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when we drop fresh content.